Hello everyone, this is Hitesh Mhatre, HOD, Computer Engineering Department of Praveen Patil College of Diploma Engineering and Technology. Today we are going to learn about the third part of the database system concept, the learning objectives, components of database management system and the database architecture. Now what are the components that makes the database management system? There are total 5 components. First is the hardware, software, data, procedure, and database access languages. Now these 5 components make your total database management system. Starting with the hardware. There are various hardware in the computer system like hard disk, IO channel for data, or any other physical component. So whatever that is the part of your computer system, the hardware part, since the database system is being implemented in the computer system, so any hardware that is a part of computer system becomes the part of the database management system. When we run a Oracle or MS SQL on the system and we use keyboard, hard disk, RAM, ROM, etc. while typing commands, so this all becomes the part of your database management system. Since every hardware component of your computer system is used for the database system. Next is the software. Now this is the main component as this is the program which controls everything. There are different database softwares. So this becomes the important part. The DBMS software is more like a wrapper around the physical database which provides ease to use the interface to store, access and update. So this software generally becomes the link between the user and the database because whatever the physical database has been stored, so it provides the easy way to store or how to access or update the database. The DBMS software is capable of understanding the database access language and interpret it into actual database commands to execute them on the database. Now this software, because this software will help in interpreting what user wants. Now user will give some instruction, but user do not have direct access to the database. So access to the database is done through the commands. Now this software will convert the whatever the commands that are given or whatever the instructions that are given by the user to the language that is understood by the database. So this software becomes a link between the user and the database. Then we have the data. Now this is the most important part because this is the main reason why we are designing the database. If there is no data, then there is no requirement of database. So this is the most important part. So this is the main motivation for your database management system, like what data is to be stored, right? How data is to be stored, how to utilize this data, what are the different functions that you can perform on this data, so type of data. So these becomes the main motivation for creating your database management system. Next you have a procedure. Now procedure is nothing but a general instructions like how to use the database. Now this includes like how to set up, how to install your database, how to log in into your database, how to log out of your database, how to manage your database, how to take backup, how to take report. Now these are different set of procedures. Now procedures is nothing but a set of instructions that you perform while performing a particular task. Then is your database access language. Now it is a simple language designed to write a command to access, insert, update and delete a data stored in a database. Now this is a simple language you use to get an access to the database, to insert some values into the database, to update some values from the database, or you can delete some values from the database. So this is through this database access languages you can have the command over your database management system. Next is the database architecture. Now this is most important part. You can see a database architecture here. The topmost part are the different users that are accessing the databases. Like we have naive users, we have application programmers, you have sophisticated users, we have database administrators. These are different types of users who access the database. Now these different types of users will have some different types of interfaces. Like naive user will have an application interface, application programmer will have an application programs, sophisticated will be using a query tools, and the database administrator will be using the administrative tools. So this is the way of interacting to your database. Next comes your part of your database is your query processor block. Now this block generally takes the instruction from these users, check whatever the instruction is or what we can say is a query is. Then using this query they will interpret okay what kind of query it is, and then it will evaluate these queries. So after that the query processing comes your storage manager. Now storage manager has 4 blocks: buffer manager, file manager, authorization and integrity manager, and transaction manager. So these are the different managers which controls your databases. Buffer manager, it is used for your memory storage. File manager, different types of files. Authorization and integration, like who can access the database. Then transaction managers, like I said, there is a set of procedure, so it will check on the transactions whether it is complete or not. Then at the finally you have the storage of your data. Now for storing a data, maybe you can have directly data through indices, through data dictionary, or some statistical data. So this is how your data is stored. Now we'll see one by one the different blocks of this. Starting with the database users. We have 4 types as discussed: naive users, the application programmers, sophisticated users, and the specialized users. Now generally mostly sophisticated users and specialized users directly interact with your database. Application programmers are those who are dealing with the programming languages and can have the access to the database. Naive users are general users who may or may not have the knowledge about the database systems, or very few knowledge about the database system. Any general user you can say. So database users, they are unsophisticated users to interact with the system by using a pre-developed application program. So they will be directly using a pre-developed application program without knowing okay what is the database, and so there is no need to for them. They will just use an application directly provided to them. Then we have application programmers. Now they are computer professional who interact with the system through data manipulation language calls, DBMS calls, which are embedded in a program written in a host system language. Now means they will write any application program based on different technologies, and through this technology programs they can have access to the database. So they will be writing statements so that will allow you to access the database. Then we have sophisticated users. Now they interact with the system without writing the program. Instead, they request in a database query language. So they will be using a query language to interact with the database. Next, we have the specialized user. Now they are also a part of sophisticated users who write specialized database application, but that do not fit in this naive users or application programmers. Now these are main specialized users are those who design your database, who control your database, who manage your database. So these are the 4 users. Next block we have is a query processor. As query is very much necessary to find out that the data user needs from the tons of data of the database, the query processor is very important to process this query request. Now the database may have n number of records, so all the records are not necessary for a particular user. So the query processor will help in finding out what the user wants and it will give only the relevant data that is required to the user. So it will help in finding out a small amount of data from the large database that is required for the user. Now query processor comes in with the following components. First is the DDL interpreter. DDL means data definition language interpreter. It interprets the DDL statement and records the definition in the data dictionary. So it will check the data definition, means how the database is declared, how the database structure has been defined, and records any changes or any additional entries in the data dictionary. Then we have a DML compiler. Now it translates the DML statement in a query language into an evaluation plan consisting of low level of instruction that the query evaluation understands. It performs a query optimization which actually picks up the lowest cost evaluation plan from the various alternatives. Now DML compiler, what exactly it does? A user has written a query. Now it can be through either application program or it may be directly through the commands. So what it will do, it will give the optimized solution to evaluate this query. Now this evaluation is done by the query evaluation engine. That is the lower level of instruction that is designed by the DML compiler. So it is executed at the lower level of instruction. So these three components become the part of query processor, that is the DDL interpreter, DML compiler, and query evaluation engine. Next we have a storage manager. A storage manager is a program module which is responsible for storing, retrieving, and updating the data in a database. Now following are the components that are given in the storage manager. First, authorization and integrity manager. Now it tests the integrity constraints and check the authorization of the user to access the data. Means the responsibility of this manager is to check whether the user is authorized or not, to check whether there is a proper integrity constraints or not. Then we have transaction manager. It ensures that no kind of change will be brought to the database until the transaction has been completed totally. So the main role of this manager is that it will check once the transaction is completed, then only the changes in the database will be done. If the transaction is partially completed, then it will roll back to the initial state. Next we have the file manager. Now it manages the allocation of the space on the disk storage and the data structure used to represent the information stored in the disk. So whenever we are storing some information, we are assigning some, say, data type or some variable. So this will have certain size required to store. So all this management is done by the file manager. Then we have a buffer manager. Now it decides which data is to be need to be cached in main memory and then fetch up in the main memory. It is very important as it defines the speed which the database can be used. Now generally we have a cache memory, that is the fastest memory. So buffer manager will see, okay, whatever the data is required, that is brought to the cache memory as fast as possible. So if it is in the cache memory, the access is faster, but if it is in the main memory, the access is little slower. So to give the fast access, most of the data should be transferred to your cache memory, but it is the job of buffer manager to check which data is required and how quickly it is given to the cache memory. Next we have data structures implemented by the storage manager. First is your data files. It stores the database itself. Next we have data dictionary. It stores the metadata about the structure of the database in a particular schema of the database. Means it is like data about a data. Then we have indices. Now it can provide fast access to the database. It provides pointer to those database that holds up a particular value. So using this is nothing but like we have a pointers. So it will point to the certain database record, so we can have a faster access to this. So I hope you have understood this concept. If you have queries, you have these details, so you can contact me. Okay, thank you.